As you can see, I've shown some ways that you can overlay colors, blend colors, remove paint, do gradient washes, and just solid washes. The other thing I wanted to do is show you how to drop color in. Where have I got here? I'm gonna do purple. Okay, so I'm gonna wet it, create some purple, and put my purple in here. I want it lighter. The more water you add, the lighter the color will be. So I've got a bit of a gradient here too. So I've got this color, this purple, and it's wet. And what I can do is take paint, I'll take the yellow, and you can drop the yellow into the purple. Okay, and it will bleed through and create different effects like that on the purple. Depending on how much water, it'll spread further. If you want to add some little dots or lines, you can add them over top, and it gives like a soft effect. I'm just gonna lay in a couple more washes here, and you can keep doing the same. So just keep covering your page with you know, washes. You can do an overlay here. So as you can see, I'm overlaying this green circle over the blue one, and in the section where the blue is underneath, you can see the blue shining through. It kind of creates a little bit of a darker green area. I'm going to add a little bit of this red over here, make that a little bit darker. And then I'm going to use my water just to blend it in. No worries. Maybe I'll do another red one down here. Okay, so I'm going to start darker here, and then maybe I want to move into this sort of lighter red color over here. So then I'll blend the two together in the middle. You just want to kind of get rid of that harsh line. And again, I just kind of play or take water off or add water to get it to cooperate. And this just takes practice. It's trial and error. And you can always just go back in with the darker color if you've blended too much, and then re-blend it in. I'm going to come back up here, and I'm going to lay in like a soft color in here over this blue. And you can see that the blue shows through underneath. Okay, so I've got these circles. This yellow is starting to do something here, but again, remember I was showing you, you can just take the water, put the water on, and then dab it out, and it disappears. And then you can come back in either with the blue or leave that to add, and then just add maybe a little bit more blue up here and blend it in again. So just practice blending, putting washes. I'm going to do another blue one down here. I'm going to put something darker here. Oh, purple. Okay, so then you're going to just, and if we go over this, you can see the yellow shows through underneath. You just want to make sure the underneath is dry so that it doesn't, or it will start blending with whatever color you put on top. So use your hair dryer, because I don't know about you, but waiting an hour till my color's dry is just not realistic. So use your time wisely. So just keep blending and adding colors. And then when you're done, we're going to do some mark making. For the mark making, you're going to want to use a detailed brush. You can use your palette knife, you can use a toothbrush, some people use plastic wrap, you can use a comb. There's various things. So try different objects that have different textures and see what you get from them. I also have been starting to add Sharpies. You can use pastels to make marks on top. Try various things. Tissues make good mark making too. So explore. And then what you're going to do now is on top of these colors, again, I'm going to dry it up. After you've practiced doing a few washes, I'll show you what you can do. Before it completely dries, I wanted to show you a really cool thing that you can do. There we go. That's a better viewpoint. So you've got a bunch of washes and such. Before it dries, you can use your finger or you can use a palette knife. Be very careful, and you can remove paint with something by scratching it out. That works really good for when you're doing highlights in trees or you're doing birch bark trees. Just try scratching some wet areas out as it dries, and you can get some cool textured effects from that. A toothbrush. If you take a toothbrush and wet it and put it in some paint, we'll do black. Okay, so just keep a towel ready, but you can do some really cool effects. This is great for water, rocks, if you want to add texture to rocks. So you can add as little or as much, but keep a towel just to kind of shield or you'll get it everywhere. You then can also use your detail brushes and make some marks as well. You can practice doing different things, like you can make dots just randomly on one shape, right? Add some dots. You can then maybe add some nice sort of organic, like leafy shapes over here with your paintbrush. I love this paintbrush because it gives you a lot of flexibility, and depending on how hard you press, if you press lightly, you get a really nice thin line. When you press down with more pressure, you get like a thicker line, and then you can kind of like, you know, play around with these leafy shapes. You can make dotted lines, dashed lines. You can do spirals. You can do a thick line and then do like a really thin line. These are the things that add variety and variation to your work. So you don't want to have the same thickness of lines, the same color, the same size dots. You know, maybe do a larger dot over here in the purple. And so it's still a dot, but it's a different size. So you can play around with the different size things, different intensities and values of color, different thickness of line. You can use your finger and smudge things. I do that a lot. As they dry, you can smudge areas. Palette knife's really good for that. You take some paint and you can just smudge, create some really interesting areas with doing that. I have a thicker marker here I can use. You could do, like, if you want to add some outlining to your work, you know, maybe up here. You can do a thinner line. Pastels, what did I do with those? Pastels are great because these are oil pastels. You can put water over them and it's not going to do anything. So So for example, with the blue, you can just do some interesting, like maybe you just want to do some like just random lines. Maybe you want to be more intentional and highlight some areas. Maybe you want to add, you know, some zigzag stuff going on here. Maybe you want dots along these leaves. So play around with that. You can use a feather. You can get some sticks from outside. And as you can see, if I show this to you, as you can see, there's a lot of interesting things going on this page now. There's a lot more to look at. My eye is going around to look at different things. There's all sorts of different marks that you can make to add to your painting. See what you can come up with. Please send me your finished works. I'd love to see what you come up with. Have fun.